High Limit's first international races are in the books, and we'll talk about the racing and the winners, plus changes coming to the Kreitz 69K sprint car. We'll dive into allegations of officiating improprieties for a big sprint car series. Let's go. It's Monday, December 30th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. In your agricultural or construction operation, or even around your home, it's important to keep expenses low, and one way to save is on fuel costs. You can do that without sacrificing performance with Kubota's fuel-efficient machinery. Engineered for optimal energy use, their equipment ensures you can work longer while spending less. Kubota's commitment to fuel efficiency means you can tackle even the toughest jobs while keeping operating costs low. Make the smart choice for your bottom line. Choose Kubota for fuel-efficient machinery. To check out the full line of Kubota equipment, head to your local dealer or visit KubotaUSA.com. We are back to regularly scheduled programming today. I hope you guys had a good holiday week last week and enjoyed the interview shows we had. If you missed any of them, the conversations I did with Jeremy Elliott, Jonathan Joyner, Dominic Selzy, and Steve Arpin are all available in the DIRTRACKR podcast feed and on the YouTube channel and Facebook page. A lot happened over the last 7 days. We will definitely get to all of it at some point this week. There's been racing, series commitments, officiating drama, and even more driver moves. I was actually a bit surprised to see some announcements even being made on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Those are not typically days where you're going to see news released just because so many people are checked out and doing other things. We'll start first today with High Limit's event at the Perth Motorplex in Australia. This was supposed to be a strong field of Americans versus the locals for $100,000. But we knew going in that Carson Macedo had already bowed out because of injury, and in the days leading up, we lost Rico Abreu as well. Rico posted on Christmas Day that he had injured his wrist and needs surgery to repair it, so he was also out of the Australian calendar. It was definitely unexpected as Rico had posted a video of him warming up the car, and he and Sprint Car Hub's Toby Balboa did a silly Crocodile Hunter spoof video the day before. Not sure what's going on down under, but pretty crazy to lose two Americans from these events in just a matter of days. As for the racing, James McFadden swept the two prelim nights. He outdueled Cole Macedo in the first feature, and then he took advantage in round two when early race leader Kyle Larson was into the fence and subsequently out of contention. In the $100,000 finale that ran just this morning here in the States, McFadden made a serious bid for a complete event sweep, leading a bunch of laps from the front row. But inside 10 to go, six-starting Kyle Larson made his move. He took the top spot from McFadden. J-Mac tried to stay with Larson briefly, but the 1K was able to stretch away over the final few circuits to take the big money. McFadden settled for second, and Callum Williamson joined them on the podium. Fun racing, definitely through the weekend. Probably the podium you would have expected beforehand as well. McFadden has been very good in that new ride down under. Callum Williamson, he's always strong at Perth. He's won a lot of races there, and Larson obviously doing Larson things. Looking forward, the Australian sprint car calendar continues with several of the Americans racing Bunbury and Perth this week. Larson, though, is immediately heading back to the States, as besides Chili Bowl, he's also running all four divisions at the Tulsa Shootout. Loading continues at the Expo today with the first Shootout prelim night tomorrow. Larson is driving for Chad Boat at the Shootout. He joins fellow NASCAR drivers Christopher Bell and Kyle Busch in competing there, along with, 1,600 other drivers. Staying with High Limit here, some unflattering allegations about series officiating were made on Twitter in recent days, centered around former tech director Kevin Naus. And I wondered how much of a story this really was, but it caught my attention when notable motorsports journalist Matt Weaver wrote about the situation for Sportsnaut. Weaver posted an article last night with comments from all involved and detailed the allegations. Naus, who was previously a racer himself and the All-Star Circuit of Champions Series Director, was brought on in 2024 to run tech for High Limit under Series Director Mike Hess. Hess moved over from the World of Outlaws to take the position, and his officiating staff also included Naus' son Logan and several ex-World of Outlaws officials. Naus and his son, though, were both released from their positions in June. In a series of tweets from December 27th, Naus alleges that he caught High Limit competitors with illegal parts on several different occasions during 2024, with each instance supposedly being swept under the rug by Mike Hess. Naus was replying to tweets from an anonymous account that has been highly critical of Hess and High Limit that is believed to be run by former World of Outlaws official Justin Reimers. Weaver did get a statement from High Limit about the allegations, which read, quote, High Limit Racing believes in a fair and equal playing field for all competitors. Any claims to the contrary are unjustified. We're focused on the success of our inaugural international event and continuing to improve the sport of sprint car racing, unquote. Hess declined to comment. He deferred to the statement, said Weaver in the piece. In the tweets, Nouse pointed towards incidents involving illegal wicker bills, crank triggers, and MSD boxes. The crank triggers and MSD boxes, those issues are usually tied to illegal traction control. Nouse did not, however, mention any specific races that those were found in or teams and drivers involved. Without any real evidence, a situation like this just turns into Nouse's word against that of High Limit and Hess. So who do we believe here? He mentioned to Weaver that his comments would be dismissed as coming from a disgruntled former employee, and I think it's easy to see it that way when these things don't come to light until 6 months later via random social media replies to a burner Twitter account. It's also worth bringing up here that the one public incident that fans did see of a High Limit officiating snafu during the 2024 season was Nouse himself when he failed to properly scale Brad Sweet's car after a win at Outlaw Speedway in May. The full racing drone caught Nouse not looking at the scales after the win, which he called a simple mistake in the aftermath. The conspiracy theorists online were quick to jump on that one as clear evidence of the fix being in for the series owner. I've been saying all along, this is the slippery slope that High Limit will find itself in. We saw it after the heat race stuff at Tri-City in 2023 as well, which I discussed on this show. I even think that thumbnail for that YouTube video says slippery slope. High Limit's officiating needs to be bulletproof because of any little mistake or crack will be amplified that much more. Those conspiracy theorists were all over those other incidents, and they're eating up these comments from Nouse because it clearly seems to them to illustrate all that is wrong with High Limit and its ownership by competitors. From where I sit, though, everything Nouse said could absolutely be true, but it all becomes clouded when you take these other things into consideration, like his dismissal, his clearly poor relationship with Hess, and his own mistake at Outlaw. Is this him trying to blow the whistle on real issues, or a disgruntled ex-employee who has a score to settle? I'm not sure how we make that determination with nothing more than tweets. On the flip side, though, if what Nouse said is true, that High Limit has some serious problems to address, especially with sports wagering on the very near horizon. As a sidebar here, I really dislike the officiating conversations. It's the oldest complaint in sports, and it never changes or gets any better. I hate it when you sports competitors complain about the officiating, and I hate it when professionals complain. Just go play the game. In dirt racing, when drivers get caught with things, the series are wrong and bad. When guys don't get caught with things, the series are wrong and bad. We literally cannot reach consensus on any of it, and it's exhausting. Somehow everyone is innocent and everyone is guilty all at the same time. When a driver gets caught doping tires, it's suddenly the lab's fault, and guys wouldn't do that. When a driver misses the scales and is DQ'd, it's because he was bought off so that the high-profile driver behind him could get the transfer. When a guy wins, it's because he had traction control and the series looked the other way. Obviously, everybody is cheating all the time and the series don't care. So we both want rules enforcement and we don't. Got it. The comments on this are going to talk about integrity and fairness and doing the right thing. But when you get those things, you dismiss them as something else. So how do we decide when enforcement is good and when it's bad? Like I said, it's all just exhausting. One final thing for you today, some silly season news. A bunch of changes are coming to the Kreitz Racing 69K sprint car for 2025. Logan Wagner is out for his portion of the schedule, and Ryan Smith is in. According to Jeremy Elliott's reporting, Wagner wanted more races next season, but Don Kreitz couldn't give that to him because of his commitment to Darren Pittman. So the two sides parted ways. Pittman will still run a small schedule, including the Outlaw shows at the Grove, and then Smith will do most of the rest. Also, with Christopher Bell's dirt racing restrictions at Joe Gibbs Racing eased for 2025, he was on the hunt for sprint car deals, and he's got his first one. Bell will drive the 69K at DIRTRACKR Nationals against the Outlaws, and then at Las Vegas with High Limit. At Volusia, they're going to run the practice night and the first race night, and then see how things go, maybe run the second race night. At Las Vegas, Bell will drive the car on Thursday, while Kreitz will get another driver for Saturday. Bell's got other commitments then. Bell is scheduled to run Tulsa Shootout this week, then Chili Bowl, and these are his first sprint car commitments. We'll see what else he is able to put together. All right, we'll call it there. Good for there today. In the coming days, we will dive into a bunch of the other news items that came out here recently. So if I didn't hit on something today, it's coming. Don't worry. I hope you guys have a great Monday out there. We will see you right back here tomorrow.